Okay, perfect. Well, welcome to today's webinar. My name is Brian Hassett. I am the spiritual entrepreneur, and I am just so excited to be able to share this information with you guys. Over the last few years, I've been trying to assimilate my faith, my spirituality, and my business. And, I've been on this journey and really feel like I'm starting to hit my stride. And so I'm so excited to have you with me. I hope this provides a tremendous amount of value to you. And over this last little bit, what I've been growing, and I'm in the B2B field sales of legal and identity theft insurance. One of the main ways I've been able to grow my business over these last few months has been through cold calls. I've gotten a lot of great sit downs with the right people through cold calls. And so I just wanted to take a few minutes to be able to share this webinar, share some of the information with you that has been helpful to me, and why some of the things that I'm doing are different, and why I believe it works a little bit better, or differently, I should say, than other people's systems of cold calling. And so without further ado, what we're going to be going over today is philosophy and ideologies of cold calling, right? There are a lot of different ways to do things. And I'm by no means trying to say that I have the only way to do it, or even the best way to do it. I've noticed it's been the best for me. And I believe that there's a few elements that I bring to the table that I've not seen anybody else bring to the table. But philosophy and ideologies of cold calling, I think it's such a big deal because our ideologies are the foundation from which we do something. And it plays such a huge role in the actual action or the actual activity that we put forth in our business. Also, we're going to take a look at, some practicality, the preparation side of, how do I get started? What do I do from day one when I decide, hey, I'm going to start making cold calls? And then, take a look at scripts. I'm not going to necessarily share with you the script that I use because it's specific to me, but I will share with you some elements from the script that I use. And then, perhaps, those elements you'll be able to use for future endeavors. And so, those elements you'll be able to use in order to build your script that hopefully fits your vertical. So why cold calling? Okay. In the B2B market, it's extremely easy to obtain lists. That's reason number one. You don't have to go out and purchase leads. You don't have to go out and do anything really crazy or even pay, $1,000 to join a networking group. In the B2B market, they want to be found by consumers. And so all of their information that you could possibly ever want is on the internet. So to create a list, for cold calling is extremely easy in the B2B market, as long as you know the type of businesses that you want to work with, which we'll talk about here soon. But also, when done the right way, cold calling can be done and can be extremely effective in growing your business. On top of that, it's a simple income producing activity. We all have been there in our businesses where, perhaps it's just, we can't even stay busy enough working our business to get to that next level that we need to get to. And one of the things that we have to do is increase our activity. Well, when you run out of people to talk to, then what do you need to do? You need to get more people to talk to. You need to do more income producing activity. But typically that means you need more clients or more potential clients. And so, this is one of the simplest ways to fill your time with something that actually can be good for you. Right? I've heard a lot of people say, oh, cold calling is a waste of time. But, I would venture to say that they're doing it the wrong way and for the wrong reasons and with the wrong ideologies. Right? I believe cold calling can help anybody jumpstart just about any type of business, right? Especially in the B2B field sales area, right? Whether you're selling a service or a product or whatever it is, cold calling a specific market can be extremely effective to help jumpstart that business to where, hopefully one day you're getting so many referrals, it just doesn't matter. Okay, now on the cold calling philosophy, cold calling is one method in filling your pipeline, right? It should not be your sole source of business because you'll become very discouraged very easily, right? And so I never recommend that the only thing anybody do is cold calling, except for maybe when they're first starting out. But even then, get out, talk to people. But it's one method of filling the pipeline, but you also need to be mentally prepared to be given the runaround. Just count on it. Okay. Let me tell you now, in case you did not know, people don't do what they say they're going to do. So just be prepared for that. And then also setting proper expectations, I believe, is such a big deal. When we're setting proper expectations, that creates the proper mindset, not even just the proper expectations of the adversity, but the proper expectations of, okay, when I make 50 calls, this is how many people I can count on being able to get sit downs with. These are my benchmarks, right? And some of that is developed over time as well. So on the practicality side and the preparation side, first step, obviously, develop your list. Okay, you need to develop your list and then you need to massage your list. And what I mean by that is you need to develop that list. And then after that, after you've developed that initial list, you need to get more specific. You need to massage that list and see the types of businesses. You want to say, okay, I've got a list, but maybe I need to narrow this down a little bit. Sometimes I'll look at reviews of businesses on Google. If they have less than 4 stars, definitely if they have less than 3 stars, I probably don't want to do business with them, right? And so that's what I mean by massaging that list. There's a specific, magazine here in the area that I live in the Gulf Coast, that promotes businesses that are, seem to be moving on the front edge of what they do. A lot of times it seems like they're investing in their company and their advertising, and then also investing in their employees, which I think is a big deal for so many reasons. And so those are the types of businesses that I want to work with, because they're people that are open-minded to investing in their company and in their people. And so, develop that list, massage it. Also, you want to get industry specific. Okay, so this is a big deal because, what I've noticed, I've gone from, lists of 1,000 to now, working a list of a couple hundred that are in a specific field. My list of 1,000 was just tons of businesses in my area, and my list of 200 are a specific type of business in my area. And so, you want to get industry specific, plumbers, newspapers, schools even, and what you'll notice is as you begin to call these people, you'll notice that you actually become more fluid, that you become more comfortable. You learn more of the lingo. You learn how to better build rapport with the types of people that work at those companies. And then it becomes so much easier to begin to be able to build your business. Also, your list for the month needs to be 200 businesses deep. I wouldn't do any more and I wouldn't do any less. So when you're building your list that's industry specific, you want to make sure that that list is definitely large enough, but not too large. And this is the way that I do this. So this is the really practical side of the preparation. So my list of 200 businesses, that means my daily call volume, where I want it to be at, is anywhere from 50 to 100 calls. Now, when I have lots of different meetings, that's not able to be done all the time, but especially starting out, my daily call volume, I need to be calling 50 to 100 businesses. And what I'm doing with that list of 200 is I'm splitting it into two. One list of 100 and another list of 100. And that list of 100 for that first week, I'm going to call each of those businesses anywhere from 4 to 7 times that month, or that week, I'm sorry, right? And then I'm going to rotate to that second list, so you're going to work your list of 100 for a week at a time. Your first list of 100 should be contacted at least 4 to 7 times within that 5 to 6 day work week period. And then the second week, you're going to rotate to your second list of 100 and do the same. You're going to call each of those business 4 to 7 times in that week, in that 5-day work week period, right? And so you alternate the lists over those 4 weeks until you've been on the phone with somebody in that office, in each of those respective offices, about 14 times. I know this sounds crazy, and it's because nobody does that. Okay, everybody's used to getting that initial call at the beginning of the year about health insurance or about, hey, I'm building my book of business. Can I come in and stop by? And, they take some of the low-hanging fruit for the people that actually meet with them. And typically the people that end up meeting with you right off the bat on those types of calls are not much worth your time. They don't value their time, and they're not going to value your time as well. And so, with this, I want to call these businesses 14 times within that month. And what I'm doing is I'm building relationships. So the point is, I'm not trying to sell them anything. I begin the calls with the end in mind, and I'm setting my expectations of how many appointments I want to be able to set, set a physical face-to-face appointment. That's my goal. And, maybe I might use Skype or, Zoom conference call meeting or something like that. That's totally fine. But, my number one goal is to set the appointment, not to make the sale over the phone. My other thing is, I want to build those relationships. And so, as far as scripts go, you want to stand out. You don't want to sound like everybody else. You don't want to call and say, hi, my name's Brian with blah, 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 blah. You don't want to do it because you know what? Everybody calls and says, my name's so-and-so with ABC Company. You're trying to win friends and influence people. Have you heard of that? Right? And really the people, the friends that you're trying to make and the people you're trying to influence are gatekeepers. We already know that. You've got the gatekeeper that their goal in life is to keep you from speaking to the person in charge unless they decide that you should be the person speaking to them, right? And so, my goal is don't want to necessarily bypass the gatekeeper. I want that gatekeeper to know me and to love me and become my best friend, right? So I also want to provide immediate value as quickly as possible. I want to be able to get on the phone when I do get that decision maker on the phone. I don't want to waste any of their time. I want to tell them who I am, who I'm with, and what I'm going to do for them. And again, I'm not trying to sell them on the phone. I'm trying to make them see the value in sitting down with me so that then I can, provide the opportunity for them to, opt into the services that I provide. So it's just, an awesome opportunity. I love to use these scripts, and really when you utilize the repetition of calling these businesses along with building that relationship, winning that friend, influencing that gatekeeper, then, your business really does go to the next level. And so, I'm just so happy to be able to share this information with you. Unfortunately, on the recording, I'm not able to share with you those cold calls that I did to those businesses. And so I apologize for that. But if you need anything, if you need me to even listen to some of your calls, reach out to me. I would love to do anything I could to help you be more successful in your area of life, be prosperous. Again, thank you so much. My name is Brian Hassett. I am the spiritual entrepreneur.